Here we are, January 2026, and I am about to rank all of the Star Wars shows, both animated and live action, that I have seen up to this point. With that being said, this ranking is based solely on my enjoyment of the series. It will not be your list, most likely, but it is mine. So, if you are so inclined, I would love to read your ranking in the comment section below. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump into it. First is Star Wars Resistance, and honestly, I enjoyed it more than probably a lot of people. I thought it did a really good job. It was cool seeing Kylo Ren as Supreme Leader for a little bit, and I thought that the story was actually pretty good. So, with that being said, I'm going to put that in Wizard, the C category. Next, we have Mando, the first ever Star Wars canon live action show. So, this one, of course, is going to go in the This Is the Way. I was going to um, put it in the Force is Strong with this one, the B category, but decided to put it in the A category because honestly, even though season 3 was a little bit weaker, it was still enjoyable. And I loved season 2, especially with Bo Katan, Ahsoka, who's one of my favorite characters, and of course, Luke Skywalker himself. So I thought it was it's still a great show. I'm looking forward to the Mando and Grogu movie coming soon. Next, we have The Bad Batch. And this one I'm going to put in the C category. I'm not going to lie. I was not the biggest fan of this show. I got tired of the mission of the week. Omega got kind of annoying at times. But what saved it was I did like Hunter. I like Crosshair, Wrecker, Tech. I did like also the Wayland or the Palpatine cloning experiment. Basically, it was a tie-in to The Rise of Skywalker, which I also enjoy that movie as well. With that being said, it still wasn't my favorite. My favorite kind of Star Wars has to do with the Force, the Jedi, the Sith. So yeah, but it was still enjoyable enough. So I'll put in the Wizard. Next, we have, let's see, Visions. In Visions, I'm gonna put that in the Wizard category too. It's not canon, but I do like quite a few of the episodes, especially with the Jedi, the duel. I like the one with the old Sith man, and yeah, it's pretty creative. The Ninth of Jedi is awesome, and I'm looking forward to seeing that animated series come out on Disney Plus eventually. So yeah, I'll put that in the Wizard category. Next, we have the original, the OG Clone Wars show, O2. Or sorry, this is from 2003, and I believe it's Jindy Tartakovsky. Forgive me if I messed up his name, but he created Samurai Jack, and I actually think this one is amazing. So I'm gonna go with The Force is Strong with this one. I am putting it here. It's great. I loved Anakin, especially his knighting ceremony, which I liked better than the better than the canon version of his getting knighted, which is it is explained, it's detailed in the book. What is it? Red Blade: Rise of the Inquisitor and Brotherhood by Mike Chen. With that being said, the clones are not as fleshed out, and I think that that is one of the reasons why I do like the Clone Wars more. However, I do like how it leads up into Revenge of the Sith. I do like seeing Grievous and how scary he is in this, the scariest he's been in anything. I love seeing Mace crush him. And of course, that Asajj Ventress and Anakin Skywalker duel on, what is it, Yavin 4, I believe it is, was absolutely amazing. The rain hitting the lightsabers, I thought it was great. With that being said, we're going to go to Tales of the Jedi. Tales of the Jedi, I'm putting that in This Is the Way. I enjoyed the Ahsoka episodes, specifically the one where she fights the Inquisitor, and when we see her training and how that contributed to her surviving Order 66. But I kind of do wish they would have really focused on a different Jedi. We've seen a lot of Ahsoka, and who, again, I love Ahsoka, one of my favorite characters, top 3. But, I wish we could have seen someone else detailed. However, I absolutely loved the Count Dooku episodes. I thought those episodes were amazing, especially the one with him, Palpatine, and Yaddle. I think all three were great. Loved seeing young Qui-Gon and him on the mission, Mace and him, and his growing uh, discontentment with the Jedi. I just thought that was a fabulous 3 episode arc with Dooku, and I think he's underrated. And I would love to see more from him. If you haven't read the book, it's a canon book on Dooku. The name is escaping me now. It's pretty good, and I would definitely recommend that if you like the Dooku episodes as well. Star Wars Rebels. This may surprise some of you, but I will say I absolutely loved all 4 seasons of Star Wars Rebels. It was an amazing show. Loved the canon, loved the entire Ghost crew, seeing Thrawn, the Vader Ahsoka fight, the Inquisitors, the mysticism, the world between worlds, which I'm a big fan of. I love my Star Wars Force and Jedi and Sith. As I said before, I love the mysticism, the weirdness. I love that Dave Filoni. I think he cooked in this series, and I'm excited to see what he does now as the co-president and chief creative officer of Lucasfilm. With that, here we are, Dave Filoni's first live action show, and I'm gonna say I absolutely loved it. A lot of people don't like it. I thought the writing was strong. I loved everyone, including Sabine. And yeah, I thought the choice to make her a Jedi or Force sensitive was weird. I wouldn't have done that, but still, I did enjoy it. And I'm looking forward to season 2. Loved Balin, Shin, Ahsoka, of course, the Anakin Skywalker episode in the World Between Worlds, and seeing him in actual Clone Wars gear and live action. I thought it was great. Can't wait for season 2, and hopefully Dave Filoni still gives us his movie, where it's most likely going to be like an heir to the Empire. Speaking of Empire, we have Tales of the Empire, and you know what? Bantha Poodoo. F. I didn't care for the Barris episodes, nor did I care. I didn't care about the Barris episodes. I didn't care about the Morgan Elsbeth. It was cool to see Thrawn for a bit. Cool to see a little bit of the behind the scenes of the Empire, but I just wasn't a fan. I thought it was weak, the weakest of the Tales anthology series, and I just was not a fan. Hopefully, this next one we get Tales of the Sith, which I think would be on the same level as Tales of the Jedi. Hopefully. Now we have what is probably one of the most controversial picks, The Acolyte. And I actually took my oldest son to the movie theaters to see the first 2 episodes, which was cool to be there, seeing it with fans, but we just didn't like it. What saved this from being Bantha Poodoo is Chimere, who's actually one of my top 10 favorite characters. This first Knight of Ren, as we've recently discovered. I thought Chimere was excellent. His fighting was amazing. I thought the fighting period was great. Master Soul was a good character. But besides Soul and Chimere, I just didn't really care for how they portrayed Vanessa Rowe. Ki-Adi-Mundi was a weird choice, especially given his comments in The Phantom Menace. I didn't like Yoda being brought into it at the very end. I did like Plagueis, knowing that Plagueis was keeping an eye on Chimere to see who this Sith pretender was. I thought it was a pretty cool reveal from, I think it's the Art of the Acolyte book that just came out. But yeah, besides Chimere, mainly, this would have went into Bantha Poodoo, but again, Chimere saved it. The Stranger, I thought he was a great character, and I would love to see his story continue in comic, book, or even another show, even if it's animated. We have the Book of Boba Fett. Yes, it was not as good as it could have been, but you know what? I'm going to put it in the Force is Strong with this one, because I actually still enjoyed it. I liked Boba. I liked Fennec Shand, even though the Mando and Luke episodes were misplaced in this show. I still enjoyed those. I like seeing the background between Boba and the Tusken Raiders. Yeah. I still thought it was pretty decent. I wish that Boba was a little more vicious, but I see and understand why he was going the route he was, trying to be a benevolent ruler on Tatooine, trying to change some stuff up. But yeah, it wasn't as bad as people make it out to be. It's still Star Wars, and personally, I really love the New Republic era, the era between the Return of the Jedi and the Force Awakens. So yeah, I think the Boba Fett series was not the best, but also definitely not the worst. And I hope to see Boba Fett and Fennec Shand show up in another project, or give it season two and make them a little more vicious. I just hope that this isn't the last we've seen of Boba Fett. Now we have Andor, and honestly, the first season I thought was horribly boring, and I still do. What saved this show was the latter half, the last 6 episodes of season two. My goodness, the Gorman massacre, Mon Mothma's speech in the Senate, where she uh, basically reveals who Emperor Palpatine is, a monster, and the loss of truth, which has a lot of connections to our world today, especially here in America. And her escape from there, and then love seeing Andor really grow as this rebellion leader. And K2 and all those great episodes, the last 6, I thought were great. And yeah, with that being said, Andor, I'm going to put that in the Force is strong with this one behind Clone Wars. Next, we have Skeleton Crew, and you know what? Not too much to say. It was fun. I watched it with my kids, and we really enjoyed it. But yeah, I'll be okay if I didn't see the crew again. But it was fun. It was decent. It was good watching it with my kids. So yeah. With that being said, Tales of the Underworld, Tales of the Underworld. Here we go. I'm gonna put that right here, mainly because of the Asajj Ventress episodes. I really like Dark Disciple by Christie Golden, a canon book that talks about how Asajj Ventress dies and her love relationship with Quinlan Voss, and how they seek to try to take out Count Dooku, and Quinlan turns to the dark side for a little bit, but because of Asajj, he comes back, and Asajj also comes back to the light right before she ends up, giving her life to save Quinlan. And I thought they honored the book well. It was awesome to see how she was resurrected by the Night Sisters, and I really hope that we see more of her. Especially, my hope is that we hope we see her helping out with the Path, which is like basically the underground railroad for Jedi and Force sensitives in the galaxy post Order 66, which we first saw in the Kenobi series. Next, we have The Clone Wars, which, come on, I'm a prequels kid. My first Star Wars movie in theaters was The Phantom Menace in '99. The Clone Wars, I already love the prequels, but it elevated it even more. The storytelling, the animation as it went on, how Ahsoka really evolved as a character which a lot of people love. I think The Clone Wars is excellent. I would love to see the last 4 episodes of season 7. The Mandalorian war, and I would love to see the Siege of Mandalore. There we go, the Siege of Mandalore as in Order 66, those 4 episodes as a movie in theaters. I think this is an easy way Lucasfilm could make some money. The first intro to the '08 Clone Wars series was a movie, which is when Ahsoka was first introduced and they saved Jabba the Hutt's son. I think that's Rhoda the Hutt, whom they save. And I would love to see the Clone Wars series end kind of again in theaters with the 4 episode movie. And I think that would be awesome to go watch it on the big screen. But all that to say, the Clone Wars was absolutely amazing. And I'm going to put that in front of Mando. Last but not least, again, a controversial series because a lot of people thought that it was not good. And honestly, yeah, they could have given it more money. It did not look as good as it could have looked. I thought the writing could have been stronger in some ways, but I actually didn't mind Reva. I know what they were going for, and I don't think Reva stole the time and attention from Kenobi or Vader slash Anakin. I remember crying the last episode when Kenobi and Anakin have that conversation where he says, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did. And Kenobi is crying and saying, like, I'm sorry for everything, which, of course, if you're a prequels kid, and a prequel fan, you know what he means by everything. He means everything. You feel that emotion, and when he's talking with little Leia on Alderaan at the end, and they're hugging, and he's talking about her mom and her dad, and you hear Leia's theme. Oh my gosh! And then seeing Qui-Gon at the end, Kenobi meeting little Luke Skywalker and giving him the ship that we see in A New Hope. I love Obi-Wan. Absolutely love that show. So with that being said, I'm actually putting that in front of the Clone Wars. I love the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and not ashamed of that at all. So there we go. So my ranking from let's go from worst to best is Tales of the Empire, The Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, Visions, Bad Batch, Tales of the Underworld, Star Wars Resistance, Andor, Clone Wars, The Book of Boba Fett, Tales of the Jedi, The Mandalorian, The Clone Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka, and Rebels. Again, let me know what your ranking is. Would love to dialogue about that. Let's keep it respectful. Everyone has their own opinions, and you know what? That's okay. We're adults, right? We can deal with other people's opinions. With that being said, y'all, I'm about to sign out. God bless y'all, and yeah, look forward to talking more Star Wars with you soon. Peace.